Hi everyone. Let's let the stream kind of get started, and then I'll talk about a little bit about what we're going to be doing for probably for a very long time. And it may interest some of you, or maybe not. I figure someone out there could be a little bit interested in this kind of stuff. So, just let people see the notification and stuff. Give me just a sec. I have like Steam open and stuff. All right. If anyone's gonna stop by it. So what did I set the stream title as? Just for, actually wait, I already have a tab open here. Does it tell you what I'm working on at all? Actually, is this up even? Okay, making a video website, here we go. Mike's gonna kill YouTube. Sort of. So this requires a bit of explanation before I go into this. So I've been looking for a little bit of a side project to do, as I mentioned on that video I have up here. Where is it? So usually I do little side projects from time to time. Yeah, over here is when I did it. So I do side projects from time to time, and I usually just kind of have a purpose about it. Kind of, just something long term, just to do for fun, for software and stuff like that. Because I'm a programmer by trade, so I'm not like a super amazing programmer, but like I know enough about what I'm doing about this kind of stuff. So it's one of those things. So a lot of actually what you're gonna see if whoever's interested, because there's always someone interested in this kind of stuff, is I'm gonna do a lot of let me just turn this down slightly. So today is actually going to be mostly planning out and stuff like that. So this is my old links project, this project here, this little application I made before. That's what this one is. So because the thing is, so the thing I'm going to be writing it in is Elixir, and Elixir is kind of like the Ruby-esque language with like concurrency and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of Elixir. So I kind of want to write another project with it. So I couldn't think of anything to do. And so we were discussing it in my Discord a little while back. So people keep joking that, I should make another YouTube or something. But to be honest though, I kind of see a little bit of something interesting to do with video sites, which is that basically I kind of think about like, I don't know if you guys remember, it was like a long ass time ago. It was like 10 years ago at this point, where they had like a 11-minute limit on videos. And I have to say I'm guilty of this myself, where it's like the unlimited limits on YouTube did not do any favors for the website itself, because a lot of the stuff you see on YouTube these days, like, I don't know, if I go like look at this video here, well, this is 6 minutes, that's not bad. Trying to think of a good one. Everything wrong with Despicable Me. But it's like 17 minutes here and things like that. The vlogs are the worst, because it's like, I forgot what it was. It was some guy, Accursed Farms did like an hour-long thing about like, what was it? It wasn't that it was a bad video. Don't get me wrong, but it was an hour long of him saying why software games as a service is really bad. But like he wanted to, like, he did edit the video. He talked a lot about it, but like it was an hour long. So what I think in my mind is that kind of an interesting idea for a simpler kind of video website, because already as it is, there's a lot of competition. You got YouTube, you got what is it, Daily Motion, you got Live Leak, you got Streamable. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Those are like the four I can think of off the top of my head. I don't know, Pornhub if you really go that fucking far. So there's a lot of like a lot of different kind of video websites, all with their own purposes and stuff like that. And some of them are just like literally, hey, here's there's Jiffy, which you can upload animated videos kind of thing, and you can also turn on sound on them. So it's like that. So basically, like, there's a lot of sites for that kind of stuff. So there's already like a huge saturated market. So it's not like I'm coming into this and going like, I got the perfect YouTube killer. I'll kill Facebook and Zuckerberg will send me $1 million. No, this is mostly a just for fun project that I just kind of came up with. And so I kind of wanted to do kind of like a YouTube-esque site. And I wanted to make it so that it has a hard limit on time of 5 minutes, specifically 5 minutes 59 seconds, so about 6 minutes of video limit. And so to me that seems like a kind of cool idea, because I remember way back when YouTube had like an 11-minute limit on its videos, that like I spent a lot of time and effort, because I made game videos back then, so I spent a lot of time and effort kind of trying to condense my videos down to 11 minutes, and I planned it out and stuff like that. And I'll admit, because of the fact they removed, I may have been clipping slightly there. Because of the fact they removed the limits, a lot of the shit you see now is like 45 minutes, like 30 minutes. Like I can't stick to anything because I just don't care. Because it's like, I'm like, there's no limit. I don't have to care about it. And I think that's what everybody thinks. You know, they make like a vlog and they're like, you know, it's okay if it's 20 minutes. They don't organize their thoughts a lot. They don't plan the stuff out. As I said, I'm guilty of it. I do it all the time. You know, 35 minutes here, randomly 18 minutes over here, stuff like that. So that's why I was kind of thinking it'd be cool to have a site where like you kind of go watch some videos, like maybe some, like you think of like a lot of the videos you like maybe watch, like meme videos or something, or like, you know, maybe some highlight montage of some gaming stuff or something. And you know, 6 minutes is pretty good for like those kinds of videos are like, they're not long enough for you to hate them, and they're usually short enough that they just keep going, kind of thing. And so that's why I'm kind of thinking about myself, yeah, make a site with just like 6 minute videos. You know, see how it goes. Like, as I said, not really gonna bother to try and really grow it into anything huge. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. But, you know, kind of I like the challenge of making a website kind of for that kind of reason. It seems like kind of a fun idea, so. And I kind of like the interesting idea of it. So basically, that's the main gimmick about it, is 6 minute video, essentially. It's kind of like a mix between, I guess, what was that other site, which was like 5-second videos? I don't remember, but Twitter bought them. Something like that. It's between that and YouTube. So, and that's the thing, is like, I have to think of this in a way of, I'm not going to remake YouTube, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. Because if you just remake YouTube, then there's already YouTube. You can't compete on that level. But if you offer something a bit different, then, you know, could be something. Who knows? That's kind of how I'm thinking about it right now. So, anyway, that's kind of what we're going with right now. And so to get started with this, so I don't remember anything about Elixir, because I wrote this stuff. That I have it over here because I need to remember some of the stuff I did, but I'm not like a super like memory dude. Like I don't remember half of the shit I was writing here. So a lot of it is actually going to be, at least for the first couple of streams that I do for this, it's going to be me looking up documentation and stuff, and try to remember what I did for some other stuff. What is this? I actually hate this white space thing I have here. So some of the stuff here I have to change. So, oh, and I'll tell you some of the choices in things like operating system and stuff like that. I'll tell you. So basically, if you're interested in doing software development at all, people like that may find this stream incredibly interesting, and they may actually decide that they want to try something like this themselves. Because I'll explain a lot about why I'm doing certain things and whatever, and what about my tool choices and stuff, which I'll get into in a second. But I have to first fix the fact that these yellow lines appear. I don't like that. Is it the color scheme that does it? No. Bar. Space. Actually, maybe it's tab. This thing tab's related. Workbench. No. Is it Amit? Is it like anything that does it? Yeah, it's like all over the place. What the hell is that thing? Because I need to remove that because it's going to annoy the piss out of me. So I'm trying to find out where it is. Oh, it's like a gutter, I think, maybe. Render line height. Shows how the editor should render the current line. No. I don't think that's what it is. It's not a gutter. It's like a spacing. Detect indentation. Maybe it's an indentation thing. Because you can render white space like that. So why does it have the yellow stuff? It makes no sense. I don't want to have that. Do my JavaScript files have that? I wonder. Yeah, they all have it. Remove line, indentation line maybe. It's kind of the stuff it is. Default indentation line. Maybe I just turn that off. There's a place where you can edit the settings here somewhere. Where's settings or JSON? I also hate the color theme, but what are you gonna do? There you go. Now it's gone. I think I could just put on the regular spacing or something. Render white space. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Okay, I like that. Maybe we'll change the color theme. So I don't really like Monokai dimmed. We'll just use Visual Studio Dark. Yeah, just use that. It's fine. All right. This is a site where I use turbo links. Fucking A. That was a terrible decision, by the way. Fucking turbo links. Okay, well, anyways. We're not making that mistake again. All right, so some of my tools and stuff, so we get into that. So I use Firefox for development. Chrome works fine too. What's important is you have the dev tools, and obviously the most important part is to have a dark theme on it. If you don't have a dark theme, then you're not a real programmer. Okay, there you go. Now we have our dark theme for that. All right, cool. So we're going to be using Firefox for our dev environment for actually testing our site and stuff like that. Operating system running just Kubuntu kind of a thing. It's just KDE stuff. So this is some doc I have for it. You can do this stuff on your Windows. There's nothing stopping you. I'm not some Linux elitist, but I'm much more comfortable in the command line, so that's why I run Linux kind of stuff. But you can always use, so Windows 10 I know has like Linux-ish stuff now, or you can just have a virtual machine that you run your stuff out of, so you can try that. Not going to do too much setup with you guys of how to set up my environment because mine's already set up, so I don't need to care about it at all. With that being said, I'm just going to turn down the sound slightly. I use VS Code, and this is actually something I've started to use in the last month because I actually really like VS Code. So I used to use Sublime before that, but Sublime is like fucking very bare bones kind of a text editor. It's basically like using Notepad++ or some shit, which you could use Notepad++. Sublime is just, there's so many better tools now. So you can either use VS Code, which is the Microsoft one, but if you're really not into Microsoft, use Atom as well, or one of the heavier Java IDEs. But all these are like Electron, so it's actually just JavaScript applications and this stuff, which is why it's like super easy to edit kind of thing. So it's one of those kind of neat things about this. So I've gotten comfortable with VS Code in the last month, so I want to continue to use it. Unfortunately, the Elixir support isn't great because look at the syntax highlighting. It's pretty awful, actually. It doesn't do a very good job at this, but we'll just stick to it. We'll see what I want to do with it later. So that's how that kind of is. Actually, I think the boundary lines would have actually been fine. Yeah, this is fine. It's the theme that made it horrible. The theme made it literally like so shitty to look at. Anyway, so yeah, so I use VS Code. As I said, not particularly elitist. I think maybe Atom is maybe a little bit too memory intensive, but honestly, if you have like several gigabytes of RAM in your PC, then you shouldn't really care at all about that kind of stuff. So that's how that is. I'm also using Elixir, as I mentioned. So that's what this is. So that you can install it through one of these installation guides. But if you're a super beginner, I actually wouldn't recommend any of this. Because Elixir is a lot about, it's a functional programming language, but it's kind of not, it's sort of like, I don't know, I read some article and apparently it's not too much like a functional language. It has a lot of those attributes, but the main thing about it is the concurrency and stuff like that. But I like it a lot because it's pretty quick. It's not too memory heavy. It's more heavy on the CPU usage and stuff like that. So not too heavy though. It's still pretty fast language. Hi, Pogro Piss. Can't see your name. So yeah, I'm going with Elixir because it's just it's a relatively new language as far as languages go. It's like, I think it's like 3 years, maybe 5 years old now actually. So that's pretty new in terms of languages that are going, and people love it when they actually adopt it. So it's pretty good. I'm not too much into like Golang or a lot of other languages. I don't know. I kind of did Python and then Ruby, and then I kind of keep branching off of that. So I kind of love that kind of syntax where it's like nice for developers kind of thing. I love that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how my justification for that. So what we're going to be writing is essentially going to be, at least it's not Node.js. Now you say that, but the thing is, I've been telling people so far, like, because I've been kind of viewing this as maybe someone's going to want to try this stuff out. I would actually recommend Node if you're doing this kind of stuff the first time. Node is actually a good starting point because at least you have to learn one language for front end, back end, and everything. I don't like Node, but I don't dismiss its importance as a pretty well-made language. Well, I wouldn't say well-made, but it's got a lot of hipsters around it, and there's no denying learning one language for both back and front end. Pretty good thing for starting, but I hope at least you branch out. Hey, at least I'm not recommending PHP here. PHP is how I started out with this stuff, and I would not recommend PHP to anybody. Like, it's PHP so bad on so many levels, so we don't bother with PHP anymore. So thankfully you don't even have to do that. I mean, there's jobs for it, but I don't know, it's whatever. So we're doing Elixir. We're going to be doing it on a React stack. So React is a front end framework that we're going to use for our video website here. Um, now, now we're getting into some shit because Elixir I haven't written in like 2 years about, and React I've never set up an application for React on my own. I work with React apps all the time. I use it at work. Used it at my last job. I used it a little bit before that. But I've never actually set it up on my own, so I'm not too familiar with how to set up a React app, especially on Elixir. So there's going to be some experimentation there with that. So the reason we use it, it's actually a pretty solid front end framework. I've tried Vue.js, wasn't a fan, because there's definitely advantages to using React. So it's not just another one of those JavaScript hipster frameworks. It's actually pretty good. Oh, it's made by Mike Huckerberg, but I'm just joking. But yeah, so that's one thing we're going to be doing. So a lot of today is going to be setting up our application and actually doing a lot of like Google searching about. Sorry, not Google searching. We have a DuckDuckGo. I have to get out of the verbiage of that. We're going to be searching on the internet a lot about how to get our application running with React. Just to kind of get the basics of our stack going and get our application going. We're also setting it up in Git so that we have a place to store it. So to get started, we're going to actually go to GitLab. I'm going to set up a repository for my project here. I think I kind of made a project folder for it. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm going to say new project. So I use GitLab for my Git stuff. So I'm going to just call it, video. So that's all I'm going to call the site. I don't have a real good name for it. We're going to set it to a private because we don't want anybody to look at it. It's not supposed to be open source, even though I'm doing stuff with it right now. So I'm going to clone this. So I think I have my SSH key set up. So that's a fucking terrible name for a repository, but there we go. We have our repository right there. So I have it right there, and I'm gonna just add a folder to my workspace. It's gonna be the video site here. So I think we go mix Phoenix. The task Phoenix.new cannot be found. It's like mix help. Oh, we don't actually have Phoenix. That's right. Phoenix framework. Elixir. There's an installation instruction somewhere here. So guides. Installation. Why you do this? Cause. What are you, some kind of nerd? No, I'm just joking. Mix local hex. Let's upgrade hex to latest version. Yeah, that sounds good. We have ERLang like 20 or something. Yeah, we have 21 or something. OTP 21. So I've already done the installation of this stuff. So if we actually do this, we're actually also running Elixir 1.8.1, which is the latest version. I did this all for you guys already. So we need to install the Phoenix archive. So it's just about copying and pasting commands. Why do you do this? Because you're a nerd. This is a legendary streamer making a video authentic on YouTube. It is. Why do you ever look at my stuff, Kent? Okay, so we're also gonna need PGSQL. Shit. So mix help. So do we have? Yep, there's Phoenix new. Mix Phoenix new video. Does that work? Yes. I would like to install the dependencies. So while that goes on, I notify tools. Yeah, we're gonna need that too. What's it saying? One sec, let me close. We're almost there. These following steps are missing CD video. Fuck, really? How's video not empty? What the fuck are these things? I'm like fat figuring this. Okay, that looks pretty good. What the fuck is this done already for? Already got my shit post out of the way. Good luck taking down the cool overlords. Soon. Soon. Yeah, we're also gonna need Postgres. I think it's just sudo apt-get install Postgres server. Do we just need 11? Oh yeah, that's pretty much all we need, I think. Yeah, that sounds good. Anything else? Node. Oh right, we need Node. Fuck. You just can't get rid of Node, can you? Yeah, it's Debian. Oh. Apparently Node.js has no things in Node. Version 10. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So we should be good. We install all the dependencies for this guy. Alright, so let's do our first application. Alright, we did new application, created everything. So next steps.get. So we have all of our dependencies. Do we have to do mixed steps to compile? Fail to get. Fail to restore. I don't know. Do we need this stuff? Let's try running the server. Holy shit. Okay, well, we may need to set up our database. So where's our database at? Postgres, database video dev, hostname thing. Okay, so let's go. I think we go PSQL. Role Mike Lat does not exist. Peer authentication failed. Shit. I want to have it so that I can log in locally into my database. Shows sensitive data on connection error. So that's going to be the first challenge. It's like, what is that thing called? Postgres. Set up permissions. Fuck, I don't remember what it is. Sudo su Postgres. Yeah, I know you can log in as Postgres. I don't want to quite do that. We want to have it so that on our local machine we don't need a password, because it's just it's just for ourselves. We don't have anything sensitive in there. Hopefully our firewall prevents, well, hopefully our router doesn't allow external connections to our Postgres database. Changing database. I forgot what it's like what's that file called? Secure Postgres against automated attacks. This is the file. PGHPA conf. That's it. Okay, so it's in 11 main PGHBA. Oops. So we're gonna say local all from, that's IP version 6. We'll say from all local connections trust. Okay, and we'll go PSQL. It's not running locally. Did I fuck something up here? What did I do? It's supposed to be trust. Method can be trust, reject, MD5 password, or ident. Method passwords is sent in plain text. See, I just don't care about logins on my local machine. Is it the fact that this doesn't have anything in it? In the address? If you change this first to true, you'll need to make sure that the database super user can access the database using some other kind of method. Okay. Maybe it just needs to be spaces. Maybe that's the problem. I don't think it'd be that dumb, but never eliminate anything. Thing is, when I restarted it didn't even complain. Cannot load HBA valid authentication method context line 90 of configuration file etc. Postgres. I don't have due to unfixable security vulnerabilities. How about code? Oops. Fuck. Guess we're gonna just keep doing it in VI. I don't have line numbers in this shit. But I can see it on the side there, so it's okay. So it says I made a mistake here. What the fuck was the mistake I made? Who the fuck even knows? I don't want to accept all incoming connections. That sounds awful. For all IP4 addresses. All to match any IP address. No. What the fuck? Host. Maybe I say host? Oh shit. How do I paste? I gotta do that. Whatever. Host. All. Trust. Hello, what's this? We're doing computer programming. More to set up stuff today. Peer authentication. Okay, so that worked, but we still can't log in to it. Even though I told to trust it. We want local HP config. So we just need to be able to log into our own database. Also, I don't know if I should have a way of modifying the Postgres server, because yeah, Postgres forms PG admin. Isn't that the PHP one? Oh no, it's not. That's not awful then. It's a pretty shitty admin tool, but we'll just do it. I don't know of a better one. I use something called Data Grip at work for that kind of stuff, but that requires like a license. You can't use that for free. Just trying to see if someone has this. Trust versus MD5. Maybe I need to have one for IP version 6 too. Maybe I need to actually set the IP as a loopback. Local is for domain. What we're also going to do, we're going to also set this to trust. See what happens. But it's a port. Oh, base capital P. Unknown option password. Peer authentication. Why is it doing peer authentication? Peer is the local replication one. Oh, is it local all? Oh, maybe just do that. Because it's I'm trying to figure out where it's doing peer authentication. Anti-4 RE4 propaganda. There we go. Show. Is it? Oh, it's like D. No, fine. Yeah, because I don't have anything. Create database. I don't remember any of this. This is why we're gonna do the PG admin. So here's this awesome tool that we have. Okay, we log in. Yeah, there we go. New database. It's called like video_dev. There it is, right there. Why is it like an X'd out? Oh, there we go. We have an owner and catalogs to it. Schemas. Okay, so we're fine with that. So let's go check out this guy. Okay, could not start node watcher because script blah blah does not exist. It won't be compiled. So we go cd assets npm install. npm is not found. I have to install apt-get for npm. I thought that would come with Node. Holy shit. Apparently not. Apparently I have to down. This is Node.js in a nutshell right here, guys. Fucking 10,000 dependencies. What does video website mean? I'm making a kind of like a version of YouTube that's for like short videos, which has been done before, I'm sure. But it's for fun. We're just having fun with it. My whole thing was going to be, I kind of introduced it a bit more at the beginning of the stream, but it's basically going to be like short 6-minute videos. You know, just thought it'd be fun to do. What do you mean you can't? Oh, because I didn't fucking. Wait, I didn't do it. Good install. There we go. So Vine was 6 seconds or something. So it's not quite Vine. Mine is more like. Also, Vine is owned by Twitter now, anyways. But mine was, I was thinking, was more along the lines of, as I said, shorter amount of minutes. But yeah, it's maybe not the most original idea, but it sounded kind of fun to do. There we go. Oh, hey, look, it reloaded all the assets. Here we are. Here's our application. So we can go right here into, so build we probably just want to ignore. We don't even want build to show up here. Do I even want depths? I don't think I want depths either. So we're gonna go to settings. So we're gonna say build and depths. The rest of this is fine, I think. So it's aimed at Generation Z with short attention spans. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have a short attention span. I can't, dude. Whenever I see like a video that's like 20 minutes long, and then like I watch it, and then it's about usually at the 15-minute mark, I realize that this guy could have condensed it all into about 3 minutes, but it's just the fact that there's no limitations, so everyone's like really, everyone's just like really like it's just way too long, all this stuff. So honestly, I kind of like the idea of like a video site that is hard limits you to really short videos. Because the thing is though, if you want longer videos, if you want to watch like a documentary or something, guess what? YouTube ain't going anywhere. It's gonna always be there. So I kind of like the idea of kind of website like this, but that's just. Even if nothing really happens to it, like it doesn't really take off, I don't care. It's okay. It's, to me, it's an interesting challenge to do the video conversion and stuff like that, and serve this kind of stuff to people. So to start us off, you watch Total War YouTubers. They usually make vids around an hour long each, and that's not going to change. They're still going to be there. Nothing I'm doing here is going to change that. Trust me. It's not that ambitious, what I'm doing. All right, so the first thing is that Elixir has changed pretty drastically from last time I've seen all this stuff. I also want to remove this git status stuff because this is actually going to be super annoying. Not git. Repository detection checkout type. Count badge off. That's okay. Oh, decorations. There we go. That's much better. What's count badge even do? Oh, we'll just keep that on. We just don't want the Explorer stuff to, because that gets in the way. I don't need to know what edits I filed. I watched Don't Let the Apocalypse Happen here too. I mean, I've had some ideas of like how I would have like a kind of like a monetization strategy for people, because obviously people would be like, they're like, I make money off YouTube, why would I want to go somewhere else? But the way I would think about doing it would be something like where like kind of like a tip jar thing, where like someone puts like $20 on their account, maybe every time they like a video it sends the person they like the video like 50 cents, something like that maybe. Because I wouldn't want it to be as ad heavy. Because if you're just watching 5-minute videos, you're not going to want to watch ads every time you switch to a new video. It doesn't make any sense. If you did, it would be like a couple seconds. So this is like streamable? No, kind of. But the thing is, streamable, this is just a website that you host things. It doesn't actually have a searchable index kind of thing. So streamable is a great site. I use it myself. But like I said, there's nothing you can do here. Like there's no, I can't just like turn on the site and basically have it go cycle through a bunch of related videos. So, like I said, I'm not pretending like this is the most original idea. Like nobody's ever thought of this. and I'm gonna be the next Mike Zuckerberg. It's more of just a fun project and just a goal in mind. It's just a mix up of things that I see other places, putting it into kind of one place. And I don't know. As I said, we'll see how it goes. So that being said, this is Mike's OC. Don't steal. So this site has majorly. So they've changed so much here. I also do not want to have it ever search into node modules. I just saw node modules folder and I know exactly what that means. Oh, I have to change this to like there. Hopefully build and depths don't go into any other folders. Okay, so the rest of this is fine. Hi, Philip E2. So let's go find out where in the project. So they've changed the directory structure a lot of how this goes. Because they have this thing like, so video web. So this is like video keeps context and define your domain and business logics. Contexts are also responsible for managing data, regardless if it comes from a database, an external API, or others. Holy smoly. This is like views, routers, channels. Because I don't remember anything of how I did any of this stuff. So we'll just let's put our not Google. Let's look up Yoshi. Let's just put our first picture ever to have be on the site. Static path. So this is just the page layout. Yeah, this is actually where it goes. So you go like. What proxy DuckDuckGo? The fuck? Alright, let's look at our amazing website. Oh shit, it already refreshed. So it's just the navigation bar and stuff. Is this an image here? Yeah, it's just an image there. Let's remove this crap. There you go. I like the memes. There you go. There's our amazing site. Okay, so we have our website essentially going here. Maybe like a Reddit-like page for when Reddit admins ban r/Meta Canada. It'll happen one day, trust me. All right, so we got our site kind of working here. So the things that are going to be important is we need to get React into this stack. So I got to look up how people do that because it's going to be fucking crazy. I guess we can commit this to Git now. Please tell me who you are. Whoops. Wait, where's the fish config? I used to have a shell thing for configuration. It's gonna annoy me because I like seeing the changes to my Git thing. I use fish shell, by the way. Menu. Oops. Shit, where is it? Fish config. It's easy fish dash config. No. Fuck. Where is it? They have a web prompt thing. It's actually pretty cool. Still fish. It's a pretty good it's a pretty good thing. How to use it, fish. Tab completions. I've gotten really used to it. Oh, it's fish underscore config. Whoops. I was almost there. There you go. So they do this thing. So what you can do is they have informative VCS. So if I go, there you go. That's what I want. So this tells me I'm in the master branch and then I'm up to date. There's a lot of other things you can do here. Okay, well, we don't need anything else here. Fish is really good. Okay, so so we did our first commit. We can actually see it on here. We reload video. There's all our files. So now we have a way to keep. We can basically save our work in case like our dog eats our computer or something. So it's a good way. Is this the 5-minute website idea? Yep, it is. I've just started it. This is the humble beginnings right here. So I'll start closing some tabs up. So if anyone missed it, you can go back in the stream archive because I talk about the technologies I'm using, why I use VS Code, why I use Firefox, why I have KDE, why I'm using Elixir. Some recommendations if you want to try it yourself of some technologies and stuff to use. So the important thing is use React with Phoenix. So this is going to be something that we're going to be looking up a lot about. Use Webpack and React and Phoenix 1.3. That's a bit. Actually, what version of Phoenix are we on? We're on 1.4.4. JSON, get text, Phoenix live reload, Postgres. Oh, we're on Ecto 4. Fucking hell! When I used this, we were on like 2 point something or 1. We've gone up 2 major versions. Phoenix with React the right way. I like that. They sold me. Phoenix 1.4 ships with Webpack by default, therefore making it more straightforward. Is it really? No fucking way. Because I remember that being a major pain. Is it? Oh, it is Webpack. Fuck yeah. Okay, that's cool. So, okay, getting started. CD.
You're never gonna feel anything. How you gonna do that?
Move.
I don't know. Figure it out.
Wait. By default, package JSON file, the Webpack config, and Babel RC are in the assets folder instead of the project root. This is not ideal since it could fuck up with IDs like Visual Studio Code. How does it fuck up my ID?
Go find some other girl who's not gonna hurt you.
Why?
Because I love you.
I'm just gonna do whatever it says. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do whatever it says. It can go fuck itself. So let's just follow whatever this guy does. Depths Phoenix. Yeah, he's trying to change the paths for this stuff. So he updates Webpack. So we need to upgrade these. Webpack CLI. Assets. Webpack config. That's nice that they decided to use Webpack. Webpack's much nicer. What was the other one they were using? It was like Bundler or something. I don't fucking remember what it was. I remember everybody hated it though. So app assets JS. This is the entry. So what is this exactly doing? I feel like I should just comment that out just in case I need it for the future. So this is adding vendor. I guess we don't really have a vendor JS, do we? Or it's adding. I don't remember how this shit works. This is they're changing the paths again because it's trying to move it outside of the folder. Move from asset static to Yeah, it's once again that he's moving the folders around. I don't feel the need to do that. Part of my ignorance what OS are using. It doesn't look like Windows, Mac OS, and I don't recognize the desktop environment if it's Linux. I have KDE. So this is just a Latte dock or something that I installed with it. So it's Kubuntu. I mean, I use like everything. I have like, so my work laptop is Fedora. My laptop is Mint, and this is Kubuntu because I mostly to run Steam games because I have Steam on here. So that's kind of why I decided to use it, because a lot of the Steam games are Ubuntu based. I don't know why everyone like is so adverse to Ubuntu, because they're like, oh, I'm going to just install Arch Linux and then fucking put all the other packages that come with Ubuntu anyways on top of it. So I don't know. I'm not the elitist. I don't get people. I just want my I just want the OS to work. So I used to use, by the way, I used to use GNOME, which is probably the one you're more familiar with. I used to be a huge believer in GNOME. I loved GNOME 2, and then GNOME 3 came out, and then I couldn't do simple things like have a fucking taskbar or anything. Like they removed all the customization. I hate GNOME so much, and KDE used to be the trash. But then when GNOME 3 came out, I tried out KDE again, and I'm like, hey, you know what? It's not that bad, honestly. And the only other thing I'd use besides KDE would probably be XFCE, or probably one of those other like towable window managers I've seen that people use, but they're too foreign to me. So you don't know Linux unless you run Arch. No, I am not ashamed to say there are probably a lot of people better at Linux stuff than I am. But you know, so I am. Mike, so it's just a fucking matrix. Hi, So4P Bar. How you doing? You know nothing about the install. You know what? Installing Gentoo is actually a fun process. You do it the first time. It's actually a lot of fun to do, because you learn a lot from it. So I would actually recommend, like, maybe at least once. You could do it in a virtual machine as well. You just do like VirtualBox or some shit. It's so good, actually. So this is something, add TS and TSX to as resolvable extensions. Oops. The really weird part is the fact I'm using VS Code. Like I'm surprised nobody has called me out on that, because that is something I honestly would never thought I would be using in a million years. Is KDL good with KDE? Probably not. What's the memory manager on this stuff? Memory? I have like 16 gigs of RAM now. You do task manager KDE. How do I start that? It's like Control Alt Exit or something. What's it called? Control and escape at the same time. Alright, hopefully that doesn't fuck anything up. Oh, there we go. There you go. That's quite nice, actually. So that's kind of the memory usage of my PC right now. So Beam is Elixir, because I'm running on the background. Plasma is about 200 megabytes about. I mean, it's not bad. I think that's pretty good, actually. Like, yeah, well, I mean, there's some other ones too, but that's pretty much what I'd say. It's about 200 megs. KDE is as good as most full. I would say it is a full desktop environment. I actually like it a lot. Like, quite honestly, like, most of us have like several gigabytes of RAM these days, so like I said, I don't really mind it too much. Config. So I'm just following this guy's tutorial because he's the boss. We need to make sure Phoenix correctly runs Webpack command as our watcher. But it is doing that, I thought. It's doing node. What? So I mean, this is probably a little bit out of date. I'm just gonna assume this is correct. Wait, above is configuration. It's maybe the CD is not what we want. It's like making a new YouTube, pretty much, yeah. Like, this is gonna be one of those comments, but I started watching videos when I was in the 6th grade. I'm officially senior in college, but now, damn, I guess I'm lame. Love seeing you still make content. I can still catch on your stream. Yeah, you know what? There's actually something I'm gonna be probably loading up for YouTube pretty soon. And it's I saw this mod. Oh, one sec, I'll just load it up real quick. Shit, that's not what I wanted. This is it. Have you guys ever seen this thing? Because it looks fucking amazing and nobody has done it on YouTube. Dude, this thing looks absolutely incredible. I'll probably start it sometime this week. This is some amazing shit though. Actually, you can see the screenshots. Look at this stuff. I actually tried it a bit on my own, and it's really good, actually. The fucking Stormtrooper helmets. It's a really funny ass mod, actually. So you can play through the regular Duke Nukem 3D campaign with like Star Wars skins, and then you can play through the rest of it. Anyways, back to programming. So how did you learn how to program, bro? It comes down to more, you kind of like set little goals for yourself, I would say, and you just learn to look things up, because like, look at what I'm doing right now, which is like, I'm really not doing much programming right now. I'm just following some guy's tutorial on how to install React into my stack. But the thing is, I don't know how to do that myself. And the thing is, most people don't know how to do this stuff on their own. It's more about like knowing how to get your answers, kind of thing. So it's, I don't know. As I said, I would start with like small goals, like go like, hey, I want to learn how to make a small HTML website, right? And so you learn HTML. Then you go, oh, I want to style it. Then you learn CSS. Then you go, oh, I want to make interactable buttons. Then you're making like, actually I have like a minefield.miclot.com. Like, I made so much stupid shit. Like this is a Minesweeper clone that I made. You can actually use this thing. I'm just gonna put it on fucking my stream. Like things like this, and you can actually look at the source code for it. I wrote this like 20 years ago. It's like using like jQuery UI and some other shit. You can actually look at the source code of it, kind of thing. And this is the kind of stupid shit I was making. I just basically decided one day, I'm like, I'm gonna make Minesweeper in the browser. You know, it's just a stupid goal, and you just do it, and then you all of a sudden you have Minesweeper. And this is the kind of autistic shit I keep doing. So I don't know why I do this to myself, but yeah. See how look at all this crap. All right, so 1 mine. So this is surrounded by 7 mines. Oh god, it's like freezing my browser. Oh my god, this is like the most impossible game of Minesweeper I've ever seen. Bit off topic, but I want to ask you before I go in, have you seen the new gameplay footage of System Shock Remake? Haven't they put that on hiatus like several times? Like I would have hoped that they would make it like good, because apparently they went really off the path of what they were planning on doing with that. I don't even know. Sudden death. Not sudden death. Is that Elixir script you were using? Just Elixir? But yeah. I've made projects in Elixir. I just haven't written in a long time. So I'm right now just trying to get just Yoshi in the background. I'm just trying to get React working in my stack at the moment. We just literally started this little project today. And this is why I actually like Fish, because this tells me right here how many files I've changed. So like you can actually see the files I've changed here, which is really neat. Next we're going to set up our TypeScript environment. I was thinking this is an EX to JS transpiler. No. No, I'm not that much stuff. So yarn add. You're too used to bash feels this weird. I mean, you can do a lot of the same things in bash. So what's this guy trying to do right here? React slash. Maybe we don't have yarn, do we? This is something that's isn't that the thing for this is something else. Why does it all of a sudden like ask me to install yarn? I thought that was a Mac thing. You can use npm. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I find it weird that he just all of a sudden switches over to yarn, which is kind of weird. Okay. Babel. React. So it adds it to presets. Oh, it's in Babel RC. Yeah, okay. I kind of understand what he's going for now. Well, let's just blindly follow the tutorial. We'll trust in Rezer014. He's never let me astray. What's your problem here? This just wants a new line. You can use npm install save instead. Yeah. You believe I actually write npm code for a living? I don't think we need to do that now, though. It's fine. Then we'll create the standard ts config and fill it up with the following. This is something I've never done really before. What? Did I not copy you? Finally, modify our webpack config so that Babel loader accepts GS/TS files. Don't forget to change the extension of your webpack entry file too. Oh, I see. What is with what's with TSX files? I don't think I've ever worked with TSX files. What the TypeScript stuff? I actually had no idea I was setting this up. It's a version of JSX? Yeah, I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever worked with it though. The question is, do I actually want it? TSX file. Server TSX. See this guy. How does it look? Browser at TSX. Huh. TS. It looks pretty much what I expect it to be. It won't compile the JSX syntax in React without that extension by default. Yeah, because you probably didn't hear it before, but I work. So I'm kind of newer-ish to React stuff, but more like I'd say like 6 months in. So typically when I get on board to a project, it's already set up for me, right? So That's why I kind of want to try setting it up myself as well. So, kind of see what they're doing. So I've been writing Node for like 5 months, I'd say. But we have a stack with like something called Seneca, which is like a it's like a microservice architecture kind of dealy where we have like a 20 gigabyte stack that talks to itself. If you haven't, you should check out Facebook Create React. Oh no, it's 404. Oh, it's the period. Now, the thing is, I've technically been using React for quite a while. Ooh, I see what this does. I just wanted to get it working with Phoenix, though. Happy hacking. This guy's awesome. He's got like the lambda symbol as his terminal. That's his shell. It's pretty good, actually. Well, I'll continue with the tutorial, but I'll see if I'll do that guy. Let's see what this guy has. So we have this one here. So we need to... Oh, wrong file. And app.js tsx. So it just does a test here. So what he's doing here, he's just including into the bubble loader. Okay, setting up React. Oh, not add. Whoops. Okay. We can set up our React boilerplate in our assets folder, rename app.js, and rewrite the file as following. Okay. Just occurred to me it's going to this links folder. Let's just remove that from the folder, from the workspace. That's probably not the right file. No, it's still going to the same file. What? Why are you going into there? Probably because it's somewhere in the history. Yeah, recently opened. That's exactly why. Alright, so we do that. Actually, I don't know if I actually want to maybe preserve the rest of this. So, just in case. Oh, neat. It even has a little icon for it, too. We have one problem with this file. What's your problem? Root is declared, but the value is never read. Cannot find module root. They're probably doing that somewhere later in the doc. Or maybe I just didn't copy and paste it all. That also could have been the reason. Alright. So, root.tsx. That's actually pretty cool. I did not know that was a thing I could do. Header, browser, router, switch. Well, we'll just keep going with the tutorial. I'll figure out what... I'm familiar with most of this. Oh, this is new. We're also going to want some Redux in this guy. Browser, React Router DOM. What is that guy? DOM bindings for React Router. Oh, hey. It's a collection of navigational components that compose declaratively with your application. Whether you want to have bookmarkable URLs for your web app or a composable way of Navigate in React Native. That's kind of cool. I think we're on the web one. I see. It's just a navigation thing. Oh, we'll learn more about that later. Actually, this is a pretty good tutorial, actually. I like this guy. So we'll just keep copying and pasting. Oh, he put it proper case. Probably a good habit to get into. In fact, actually, root should be in proper case too. Does app need to be in proper case? No, it's lowercase. So this is React FC children header. Oh, it's remaking the default page in React. I see. Okay. This is in JS pages. It's a pretty good layout actually to start out with. Is it index.tsx? And the router. Oh yeah, we need to go to the router. So I think this is one of those things that sets it up so that the entire site works as a one-page app. I think. Especially with the fact that I'm adding this in, where it's just a glob past a page controller index. Which, that sounds pretty cool to me. I like the idea of that. app.html.ex. So this one doesn't want HTML. Yeah, I can now 100% guarantee that's what this is doing. And I am 200% behind that, even though it's not something I was actually intending on doing. I figure that's a good thing to learn. Why is my body tag different colored? It doesn't know how to do EX files. Visual Studio is unable to watch for file changes in this larger workspace. What are you talking about? You don't know how to watch for files. Oh, it's this kind of stuff. I remember this being a problem on my other stack. For some reason, whoops, it doesn't like to watch that many files. So, yeah. Oh, it's not even there. Oh, I just gotta add to the end of the file. Can be loaded by running that, sure. Okay, well that should do it. So why is this script a problem? Assigns src. I don't know. I'm gonna guess that this has absolutely no idea how to render that. Although it says EX file, it should know how to do it. It's just because the coloring just ends right here. Apparently that does it. I think though that single quotes might mean something different in Elixir though. It might mean it's like they call it like a byte list, a char list or something. So that actually may not work at all. So let's just put it back to the way it was. Just because I actually don't feel good about that. I'll change it later. It's kind of annoying that the editor doesn't know what to do with that. All right. Index.html.ex. Okay, sanity check. All right, moment of truth, fellas. Let's see if that works. Holy, oh yeah, I have to restart this stack. Cannot start Watcher because script webpack does not exist. Phoenix application is still running, however assets won't be compiled. I think I did an npm install after I put a couple more things in there. Oh. What's this 127? Who even knows? Oh, you know what? It's probably, I don't even have it git ignored, do I? That folder. Elixir ls. No, it is a git ignored. Of course it is. It's part of the stack to have node modules. Yeah, because you don't want to commit that to git. That would be a disaster. Cannot start node watcher with script node modules. Oh, it's not going to the assets folder, probably because I changed. I probably followed one of the guy's instructions, and I didn't mean to. It's probably this one right here. Yeah, this is the one. All right, here we go. So Webpack itself installed. Yeah, Phoenix 1.4 uses Webpack by default, which is amazing. Because I remember running Phoenix like 1.2 or something is the one I did, and everyone complained it was like on like bundler or something. So let's see here. Warning, mode is not set. Cannot resolve .rc in my glad video. Okay, because I didn't follow this guy's instructions to the letter. Because ooh, that's promising. So this has React app right here, and the JS is, so it's just not compiling. It's over. So his whole thing was, he said that running the node modules inside the assets folder, he said it doesn't play well with VS Code, so he spent a lot of time trying to get it out of there. And I think the article's a little bit older, so I don't think that's necessarily yeah, because he's doing it for Phoenix 1.3. So wait, is this the same one? No, it's not the same one. I opened another one. Here's the one. So yeah, he had it for 1.4. So his whole thing was that he wanted to move it out, and I said I didn't want to do that. I just want to get my stack going without it. So I didn't want to do that. So let's see here. Cannot resolve src in my glad video. So warning, mode has not been set. Webpack will fall back to production for this value. Set mode. Oh. That, I know where that's gonna be. That's gonna be over here. It's like development. Okay. No. Oh, mode development. Sorry. So that I removed when I shouldn't have. So that needs to be in there. Okay, so insufficient amount of arguments found, no entry found. For what? CD, oh, and it also, and it's also supposed to be in here. I removed that. That is also a very important thing to have. I think that's all I need. Cannot start script because assets, okay, that's a lot of assets. Oh, that's because I put in, okay, yeah, alright. I did it in the wrong way. This is what happens when you diverge from the tutorial too much. Insufficient amount of arguments found, or no entry found. Run Webpack CLI for more information. Live reload Phoenix PNG. Cannot resolve assets app TS X. So assets JS app.tsx in video assets. Huh, you couldn't find that? but because it's already in assets. Oh, that looks very promising right there. All right, let's have a look. Oh, hey, we got it. Kind of. Actually, yeah, this is actually completely working now. That's it. This is our React Bootstrap application or whatever. Speaking of Bootstrap, I should probably put that into this. That looks pretty good, actually. So it is actually there. It is working. Yep, there it is. So that's good. So next thing is going to be Redux. Let me see if there's anything else the guy said. So the guy actually got it working. That's pretty good. Oh, creating additional pages with React Router. This is completely new to me. I've never used this before, so it seems pretty good. Import counter page from. So let me get Bootstrap in here because it looks really ugly without some kind of just put that in somewhere. Because we want our site to be pretty. I'm like, oh, import. Import Phoenix HTML. Yeah, it's gonna. I'm not sure where you put this stuff nowadays. Probably it'll be in the index.html.exx file. Nope, that's because that's just that. You put in the root of your HTML in the header. Well, this is this is the app HTML EX file. So, oops, not head. So I would say it would be something like that. So it's right here. We'll just take an example Bootstrap site. Just to get us going. Sign in. Sticky footer. Starter template. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we can just copy whatever this guy did. Or it's, I mean, that's what it's for. It's an example site. Although they have a bunch of their own stuff here. Nav. No, we don't need that much stuff actually. We don't want a lot of this stuff here. Navbar bottom. Just want a very simple site. Can't you just copy and paste something simple? A sticky footer. Good enough. Oh, this is a flex grid one too. I'm not even gonna take the footer. I'm just gonna take I'm gonna take this guy. Just to get something, because it's the other stuff is not styled in the slightest. So this is the header. No, we don't need to change that. Main container. Yeah, it's gonna hate this. Whoa, what? What's wrong with two spaces? What? Come on. It's supposed to have a detect indentation on too. It just didn't do it. Alright. So, children. So, he just does flex grid class name container. Something like that.
quite strongly that the knowledge will
Alright.
change anything at all.
Main homepage. Oh, I see. This just goes between those ones. Because that's where homepage comes from. I'm kind of understanding what this router thing is actually for. Like I said, I've never used this before in my life. It's actually pretty good. Coolio page. There you go. I wish it would like center it a bit more. Why is this one centered? What did I do wrong? It's the whole reason I wanted this. Oh, I'm supposed to do div container. Wait, I did do a div container. What? This is actually like the coolest React thing I've ever done. It's actually pretty neat. Div ID, some main class. Oh, yeah, it is in the middle. Huh. So... Oh, body class. That's what did it. Oh. So let's go... A lot of it depends upon the HTML tag. This one decided to emit a lot of that stuff for some reason. Oops. So this one put it in here. Div ID React app. The header should probably be part of the main, but actually it totally doesn't need to be. So I think if I just go find my header. Oh. No, that may have been, oh, I have to have a container in it too. I always forget about this kind of stuff. Oh, there you go. That looks pretty good. I thought that they made it so that HTML is something you can actually exclude now. You don't have to have HTML; it's just implied that it's there. I think. Anyways, that's fine. So let's keep going with this because I actually want to learn about this neat React router thing. I had no idea this was a thing, and then now that I know it's a thing, I actually want to use it. Several examples of the things you can do. Add a counter to it. So this is in root.tsx. Probably should shrink this a bit. Actually start writing code instead of just copying and pasting it from the other page. So this I know is like a fragment. This stuff is so new to me, whatever this stuff is. But I'm guessing this is kind of how it's more API driven than so it uses it will actually utilize some of the best stuff about what I did with Elixir and Phoenix. It's actually one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Alright, I'm not typing all this out. This is too much to be typing out. So I'm gonna copy paste this one. It's a cool little experiment though. Now go to thing and counter and test an expert. So what does this guy do with this counter? He wrote an entire thing here. Alright, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I actually like that a lot. Yeah, I've done most of the JSX stuff. But this is the way that they're doing this. This is completely foreign, and I actually like this a lot. Because I've done the one where it's like you make JSX files and not so much this stuff, counter state. So I wonder how Redux goes into all this. So here's the thing: is that must be available on page load? Is it in there? So we got browser router here. One second, let me look at the network log because I'm now really curious about that, how that works. So it does get response payload. So what is it? Oh, so these are the WebSockets. We don't actually care about the WebSockets. Remove those. No, it's all loaded in the page. It's all there. Have I used Redux before? I have. I'm familiar with like the concept of the reducers, the get state, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, most of the time I just plug into another application that's already written. And I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of the applications that I go into, people are always experimenting with React. Like, I'm really good at picking stuff up when I see it written, which is obvious by the fact that I'm just kind of writing it in here. But some of the stuff I've seen is not written the right way necessarily, or it was written at a time when Redux was extremely new. And so then I look at that and I'm like, oh, hey, that's the way you're supposed to do it, but it's actually not, because they improved on it so much. And as I said, for example, this stuff right here with the way they write this stuff now with the TSX files, completely different to what I'm familiar with. But I can actually see why you would do things like this. It's actually really good. React has a ton of boilerplate that can be a little bit excessive and hard to maintain. You should look at React's new context API if your needs are simpler. Oh, it's more of a... React context. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, that's what I would write in the past. Is like they would use Redux, and so up until now, I thought Redux was the way to go. Is that what? No, this is the state. Guessing that I'm actually using it on this page. When to use context. Used to share data considered global for a tree of React components, such as current authenticated user, theme, or preferred language. No way! For example, in the code... So, as you can see, I'm probably working with an application that was written in the heyday of, like, this kind of stuff. So, what's this Z? What is this thing? Hell... Well, it's apparently nothing. No way, though. That's pretty crazy. They actually yeah, because I knew that was a big part of this kind of deal, which was to share things like a user object between all of them. Because I know with our application we have things like feature flags and translation keys is a big one as well that we use in the Redux store, which it's literally awful because I know you shouldn't be doing it this way, but so two applications they've written. One is whenever you wanted translation keys, it would like fetch it from some kind of API endpoint in a Rails application, and the second one I've seen is they just loaded all the translation files into Redux, which was both not too ideal. Way to overkill. Yeah, context UI is perfect for that kind of stuff. Way overkill to use Redux. I mean, this is perfect for what I want actually, because I just want to share some stuff like user context and stuff like that. So how are they using it here? Using context, you can avoid passing props through intermediate objects. Elements, sorry. Create context light. Before you use context. Context is primarily used when data needs to be accessible by many components at different nesting levels. Apply it sparingly because it makes the component reuse more difficult. Does it? If you want to only avoid passing some props through many levels. Component composition is easier. That's the one where you do like ... Yeah, I know about this one. Consider a page component pass a user and avatar size projects several levels down, so deeply nested link and avatar components can read it. Page, user, avatar. Oh. It may feel redundant to pass down user and avatar props through so many levels if only in the end the avatar component ever really needs it. It's also annoying whenever the avatar component needs more props from the top. Let's give me an example of... You don't want to pass it. One way to solve it without context is pass down the avatar component itself, so intermediate components don't know about the user or avatar size props. Now we have page user equals that. And avatar size. You can do that. With this change, only the topmost page component needs to know about link and avatar components use of avatar. Okay. This inversion control makes your code a lot cleaner by reducing the amount of props you need to pass through your page and by giving you more control over your components. Huh. I would have to see how I would pass that into... I guess you just pass it into the page controller, is my guess. You just instantiate the user, pass it into... Can you do that? Oh, because I have that and I have this. You'd have to go probably into the page. You're trying. They're trying to make sure you know that there are alternative patterns, as global state is often abused. Context UI is perfect for the things you were thinking about, though. Yeah, it's the things I would use Redux for. Is essentially what I would do. Just trying to remember all the stuff. This stuff. Context provider. Context type property and class can be assigned. Context object created by React create context. So how would I populate it? So I think you do something like oh, you know what they did for Phoenix, or sorry, not Phoenix, but Elixir? They actually brackets used to be optional, and then they made it required. I think that's one thing we have to get used to. I'm spoiled by Ruby, where I didn't have to do that. Phoenix render method. I'm trying to remember what that does, because I think you can pass in render 3. Where is it at? Assigns. I think the third argument is supposed to be, third argument is argument, so you just go like this test. And then we send that into, it's like con.assigns or something. Oh no, assigns is right here. Yeah, we don't want that. I don't know why I'm trying to do this right now, but export. Obtain context from a nested component. It's often necessary to update the context from a component that is nested somewhere deeply within the component tree. QC pass function down. Theme context from theme context. Stands master provider. TLDR is you pass data into the provider and read the data via the consumer component. Huh. That's pretty good. This is just a part of React now. That's pretty good. Consuming multiple contexts. Context. So I really should just be continuing with the tutorial that I was trying to make me do before. Let's just try messing with this, actually. I'm actually interested in this. Yeah. Oh. Did I not have a class app? I think I call like root element. Yeah, it's right here. Well, app is actually from. Oh, well, that's where the routing happens. It's probably more like here. I'm interested to know what user context will be. Cannot invoke. Console has no. Oh, whoops. Console.log. Object type of symbol React context. Ah. So does React DevTools, does it actually have support for this? Well, I guess it would if I put it into one of these. So why does it think this is a router, context provider? There it is. Interesting. Theme context at consumer, user context at consumer. Caveats. Because context uses reference identity to determine when to re-render. There are some gotchas that could trigger unintentional renders in consumers when a provider's parent re-renders. For example, the code below will re-render all consumers every time the provider re-renders because the new object is created for value. Lift the value into the parent state. Yeah, that makes a bit of sense. I have to read this all. This is completely new. It's a lot to take in at once. That's really good though. Man, what version of React are we on now? Now I'm like, how far behind am I? React 16. What React are we? What? Well, okay, so I installed 16.8. Yeah, 16.8.6. What's the version I'm used to using? I must be on like 14 or something. They've done crazy stuff. Yeah, well, it turns out I have a lot of reading to do on this, but I will. This is not an important thing to do right now, though. But it's still an eye opener. It's crazy good. I'm just gonna comment that out so it's not there anymore. I'm gonna continue with what the page is going. I think I diverged a little bit too much, but thank you very much. It's really awesome. That's yeah. Apparently, I've been working with too many slightly, and I say older apps, but technically, unless you're writing Cold Fusion, they're really not that old. Happy to help offer that. Happy hacking. Yeah, see you later, Michael. So let's see here. Fetching APIs. Almost every React Phoenix trial. Single React component. Before you start, please make sure that on router.exe you have an API scope declared on top of the path declaration. Well, yeah, because the wildcard has to go last, doesn't it? So what is all this stuff that it's searching? What is all this? Elixir E. .elixir ls. Let me exclude that from my search. It's way too much stuff. That's much better. Now it doesn't show as much. So API accepts JSON, pipe through API. Can I pipe through inside a pipeline? What? Because API pipelines are different. Oh no! This is a pipeline. Whoops. It's scope API. Whoopsies. Call it video web. Now we have it all set. Create a new context for our sample data. Try to get some JSON here. Resources language controller. Well, we'll do what it says. Just because there's no harm in doing a tutorial. Resources languages added to there, except new and edit. Language path is undefined. Did you mean page path? No. It's through API. So this entire site is basically just API driven, which is pretty crazy. Go to API languages. Do we need to restart the stack for this? I hope not. That'd be mildly inconvenient. Whoa, what is this? What? The fuck? Okay, I have apparently a data here. Just remove some of this. Actually, I need to bookmark this guy. This one is way too important. That's like crazy good to read. Router.esx. You can also create a database seed. Oh, I don't need to do that. So we have, I can create the seed myself. Do we have a model for this guy? We apparently may not have a model. So this is part of what they've changed with this. So this is where we bring out our handy dandy Postgres tool. And we refresh. Schemas. Whoa, what do you mean doesn't exist? Prolang? What is this talking about? Okay, can I just disconnect from this and then reconnect? Apparently this application may be kind of terrible for this. But then again, I did just try it out, so... I don't have a password. Perhaps you answer... I didn't want to reference anything. Catalog. PG catalog. Well, apparently this is not very useful. Alright, forget that. So I already know how to make data, so... But I don't think it actually created a database for this kind of stuff. Migrations. Oh, it totally did do that. Huh. Alright, well, you know what? Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. PGSQL? No, it is PSQL. I don't know why the autocomplete didn't work. Is it... Shit. Oh, actually, it's just use video.dev. Use database. Fuck. Postgres. I haven't done this in so long. I'm just used to the other one. Oh, it's C, close the old one. Oh, list of databases. There you go. Video dev. Do I actually have to connect to it? Test DB. I guess I do. Oh, there we go. Ah, there we are. Select. So if I go /d languages, there you go. ID, name, proverb, inserted at. Okay. Oh, that's right. I never use /c. I always specify the database I'm connected to in the command line. That makes sense. I'm pretty sure I never had to do that, and I would be right. I don't ever have to do that. There's a good reason for that. All right, repo. So we have that. Insert. No, it's actually Ecto that does this. Insert. And you can't find insert. It's right there. Structure change set ops. Same as insert 2. So let's see. Insert post. Why do I have to actually have an object? Great, because now I have to have a model for this stuff. I didn't want to do that. That's a higher amount of effort. Just trying to think of the best way of... It's their new stuff with schemas. Like, I now have to learn that. Where do they put that stuff now? Language example. Alright, well, let's figure out how it goes. Ecto, new model. Phoenix. Because this is very different now. The schema, here we go. Well, it allegedly created this for us. Allegedly. But where is it at? Example language. Oh, this is it. Why is it dot example? What did I call it? Create table languages. Oh, so we can actually see all the files it made here. Language view, language controller test, fallback controller. Lib video example language. Why is it making examples? Oh, because it, what? I actually called it that. Huh. Well. I don't really know why I did that. No, I guess we can just say actually, is it example.language? They've changed this so much now. It's really beyond me right now. Huh. Proverb. Blah. Alright, let's give that a try. I think that's what they... So I think that's what they do now. They want you to like have like a context of like something that's something, which is super weird. That's what threw me off to this entire thing to begin with. Mix ecto dot receding. Generate load. Set up. Keyword argument must be followed by a space after name. Oh wow, it's like strict. New repo's already been created. Already up. Can I expand struct example.language? Video.example.language. Let's try that out. Because I think it's, you have to specify all, yeah, you actually do. Ooh, look at that. There's our seed. So if we go here, ha blah. Apparently it has no conception of resetting the database. Maybe we'll just reset it like this. And apparently that's the time it decides to. Cannot be dropped. Object in use is accessed by other users. There are 11 other sessions. It's probably this thing. If we do that, it should reset it. It's also likely being used by this one as well. There you go. Look at that. Just remakes it. So this will remake our database. This is crazy. Ha and blah. There you go. I do like how this has a nice layout to it for Firefox. It's so good. Alright, so we did that. Now we can proceed to our component. Maybe we'll make it. Maybe we'll make another one. Like flat. Star. Crafty. All right. It's not going to reset because this thing is using it. There we go. Okay. So there's our 3 JSON fillers. This one's fetch page data. Fetch data. This is a root TSX. How many roots is this actually gonna want? I have to see if this React router thing applies to what I want, because this is a so like I don't know if it's just too bloated for what I want it to be, but it might be, but it might not be. Cannot find name fetch data. Fetch data example state. So allegedly this will not work. I keep clicking on images. Loading. Yeah, it's right there, but that's not actually what it should be. Fetch data page. Oh, yeah, who might argue? Let's see if it actually loads up. What page is that on? Fetch data. Fetch data page component. What above error? There is no above error. There you go. So the guy had a mistake in his code because it's fetch data page. That's what I thought it was. Can't you just say this? No, apparently not. Huh. There you go. There's our 3 JSON array guys. What time is it? Fuck, it's 9:30. Let's finish the tutorial here because this is a great tutorial. If you're still here, congratulations, step is complete. Oh, never mind. Apparently we're done this one. Where's the demo? Content. Honesty content equals. Can I just put that into here? Also, this uses semicolons. What the fuck? We don't want semicolons. We're in current year. So you should be able to do things like this. Fetch API languages. So fetch is just now part of React. I know that much because I use that all the time. Oh, that's actually so good. Huh. So how bloated do you guys think this application is? Because that's going to be app.js. I actually don't see it anywhere here. Header, main, counter. Oh yeah, there it is. Fetch data. And if we actually scroll the way this way, oh my god. Look how long that file is. Now, as you can imagine, a website like ours is probably not going to do that well with that. Because we would prefer it to... This is good for certain kinds of sites, but not for ours. Not that I'm against this. It's a single page application, I get that. So we're not really making a super single page application because it has many components to it, like comments and profile and a lot of other stuff. So this is not really what we need for ours. I have to think about this though. Because it may not matter if it's all a single page thing. I just, part of me thinks it's going to be super slow. It's just, that's a huge architectural decision to make this early on, kind of thing, to whether to use the router or not. I mean, I guess it's written in a way where you can obviously go out of it. It's a really cool tutorial though. Browser React. So let's see this one. Oh. Shit. That's a really cool way of doing things, though. concept of router. But guaranteed it's putting it all into one, though.
We're having some kind of powerful, weird alchemy, and you have to pay attention when that.
Single page applications rewrite sections of a page rather than loading the entire new pages from the server. Twitter is a good example of this application. When you click on a tweet, the information is fetched from the server, the page does not fully reload.
Okay, I may never get this chance again. I mean, we may never, be able to return to this moment.
Yeah. You know what? We can totally write this entire thing on one page. Router keeps UI in sync with URL. Yeah. Dude, do I dare be so incandescent to use fucking React Router DOM for the entire for the entire site? We totally can. Because it's going to basically fetch all of everybody's, like everything's going to be just loaded on the same page. It's going to be crazy. But I think that will be fine, honestly. It's just part of me is like, is that going to be bloated to hell? Switch will make the path. Nested roots. I mean, it's a pretty good concept, and I think I want to write it with that in mind. Let's just look up, like, is React Router loaded? React Router Redux versus connected React Router for React version 4. Oh, they have many ones. See, the thing I did with my other one is I used fucking turbo links. So these guys are complaining about something else. Complaining about Redux being bloated. Because can you like lazy loading React components dynamically on demand using React.lazy? It introduced React.lazy for code splitting. Oh! It's not available for server-side rendering. We recommend using loadable components. Huh.
I think the first thing you need to know about hip hop is all about your posture. Hip hop is it.
A React code splitting library, not alternative to React.lazy. Library splitting, prefetching, server-side rendering, full dynamic support. Cool. You know, you wanna split your first component. Loadable lets you render a dynamic import as a regular component from @loadable.component. Be in a separated bundle. Not only is great, but as your app grows, it Your bundle will grow too, especially if you're including third-party libraries. You need to keep an eye on the code you're including. Yeah, this is the concern I've been having. To avoid winding up a large bundle, it's good to get ahead of the problem and start splitting your bundle. Code splitting is a feature supported by bundles like Webpack and Browserify. Create multiple bundles that dynamically load at runtime. Code splitting can help you lazy load just the things that are currently needed by the user. That is exactly what I wanted. Huh. So it actually supports it out of the box, sort of. That is actually pretty impressive. So there is a way forward to do that. So yeah, we don't actually have to do anything. It just knows how to do it. The future is scary. So where in your app to introduce code splitting can be a bit tricky. You want to make sure to choose places that will split bundles evenly but won't disrupt user experience. Start with routes. Most people on the web are used to page transitions taking some time to load. You tend to also be re-rendering the entire page at once. Your users are unlikely to be interacting with other elements of the page at the same time. Is that something you can do? Component home. So header doesn't need to be lazy loaded. Let's say counter page. And the other one is. I'm actually really surprised on how fucking intuitive this shit is nowadays. It's fucking scary. So let's actually put on our home page counter and fetch data. Support home page. I'm gonna say counter. Counter. This is like fetch data. And link is React React router DOM. Huh. Well, it didn't load. Let's figure out why. Holy moly. Support for experimental syntax dynamic import isn't currently enabled. Let's get this. You have to put the syntax in. Let me see what they say here. Well, they suggest to do this. npm loadable server. It's not yet available. Thing is, we don't technically have to do this. It's not part of the language standard. Yeah, this is like way too new, this stuff. So you know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna bother with it right now, because to be honest, from what I'm looking at, this stuff is easy to implement later. I thought it would be a lot more harder than this, but it looks super easy to do. That's because that's what I was concerned about. I'm like, hey, is it going to be a pain in the ass to load all this in? So let's uncomment these. This is why we comment everything. Why is that page? What's that page called? Oh. It's too many BRs. Fetch data. That's actually really awesome. How fast it goes through these. Super impressive. Alright, we have a framework of how to make our little site here. So that's pretty good. This is going to be a good basis to go off of. This is far better than I actually would have expected to start this with. The really shocking thing... So the thing that this is doing right here, if you guys, in case you guys don't know, I put in something here and then it reloads it automatically on this page with whatever it is. I'm not refreshing the browser, guys. Like, I'm just saving a file. It's so good, this framework. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But this is actually a very good place. So we actually got pretty far with this, believe it or not. So we got our page going here. So the things we got to do is we got to make a user state kind of a deal. Like a user on the page. So you know, we have a login and stuff. Potentially registration form as well. And then we just start kind of putting in videos. This actually is going to be really come up fast, this site. What the fuck? This is super good, this entire framework. Because I'm just thinking it out in my head and we're going to be making this in like no time at all. This is way better than the garbage I was making before on that Links app. This is so good, actually. You guys wouldn't even, you guys don't even know. But it is like 10 o'clock, so I'm going to start winding down for sleep. But I'm actually really excited about this now. This is going to be really good. So, look forward to that, guys. I don't know, is anyone actually still in here? Actually didn't look at, I don't really look at this stuff. 8 people making a video website. That's pretty chill. Alright guys, so it's gonna be up on yeah, thanks for yeah, thank you Ezra. So I know it's a bit, I guess I'll just give you guys a summary of what I just did, because I know it's a little bit fucking crazy, but I just laid out the framework for, I'm using React, and it's like the new version of React that I'm not familiar with. So this will let me make all the pages in the site, and the entire site's going to be back-end driven, which is kind of the more modern way of making, it's the modern way of web development. So usually what would happen is, if I go to my, say I import my other site in here. So, links, just to show you guys. So the way this site worked that I made before, which was the links.miclout.com thing. So you'd have like a controller here. So you'd have it like go like, oh, here's how you create stuff. Here's how you update stuff. Here's how you delete stuff. And then it has some kind of kind of page that it renders back. So it says, hey, you're going to be a comment, show a bunch of comments back here. And so if I go to models, and so like basically there was multiple layers. So you'd have like the HTML layer, you have the JavaScript layer, and then you'd have kind of like a mix of the API layer kind of thing. And the whole idea around the way this new shit works, which I know of, and I've been working with similar sites, but like I haven't had quite the chance to play around with it because I keep working with older sites, is that they merge the HTML and the JavaScript layers into one. And then it just automatically updates everything as you go. So you don't really worry about it too much. And you get everything from an API endpoint. So whenever it needs to do things, like let's say, you can actually see it here. So if I go to network log, and I just have XHR there, I'll even turn off persist logs. You say fetch data, it makes a GET request to the languages endpoint in their API. And if we actually look at the response, it's that proverb stupid thing that I wrote in here. But the fact is that it wrote it, it made a, that's how it populated this data here, kind of a thing. So the idea would be, and the importance of this is because for the context of our application here, like for example, getting comments on a video is going to be pretty much things like this. Getting the video itself, going to be something like getting the video page is going to be something like that as well. Things like that. So you basically define the video pages and things like that, and then that kind of container kind of wraps into the rest of the application. So it's going to be super nice, actually. I'm actually kind of excited for this. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. This is gonna come up way faster than that other site I was working on. The other site I was just way too over-architected. This is like some amazing stuff, actually. It's gonna be really cool. Interface, counter state. That's insane. But yeah, there's a lot to read up on and stuff. So, but we got pretty far for this. So let's actually go for a second, guys, and let's say, because this is a good habit to get into if any of you are aspiring meme developers. What the shit? What? What is this Elixir LS stuff? Get reset soft? How do I unstage again? It's like get on add. Get reset. I have to add it to Elixir LS to get ignore. Not found. Right quit. Okay, that looks a lot better. Git add dot commit m added React router. So if we go into our git log, and there we go. We have our second commit of the day. Well, we actually have 3 commits here. Initial commit, init commit, and then added React router. So that was the progress we've made today. So this way, as I said, if our dog eats our computer, all this stuff is saved. So it's super nice. All right, so I'll be back some other time, and we'll continue this website that we're running. So, peace.